Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, just to get things straight out the way, like and subscribe, please. I mean, why waste any time? You might as well do it right now. The video just started. You might as well. It's on your mind right now. So like the video. Trust me, you're gonna like the video. So just like it, so you don't forget at the end, and subscribe. Right? Don't waste any time. Just subscribe. But anyway, to get straight into the video, we're gonna go over some things that we shouldn't do. And when I say shouldn't do, I mean advice we shouldn't follow, right? That was a little tricky. But some advice we should not follow. Now, you guys know me, I love to give advice on a plethora of things. And I firmly believe that I give good advice. But some people may disagree on some of the things I say. So this video is going to be on things that I think are not good advice to people. And the first thing is that more money is going to solve your problems. It is not. You know, there's a lot going around, right, where we think money is just, in some cases, God. And we think this is going to solve everything. Well, I hate to spoil things for you, but it's not, okay? Now, I will say this. It will alleviate some issues. Like, if you need, I don't know, more clothes and you get more money, well, you can buy more clothes, food, right? Heck, I would even go as far as to say shelter, right? You might be able to just get you an apartment because you got more money, right? Depending on how low you are on a financial totem pole. Right, money will definitely solve certain problems, but it does not solve your core problem, which is you. Because you do not know how to handle money. And that's not a shot at you, but it's the truth. You don't know how to handle money. That's why you're in this burden to begin with. Okay? For most people now, there's some situations where, I don't know, maybe your house burned down and you know, things like that. Okay, right? I'm not talking about someone like that. I'm talking about someone who has nothing wrong with them. They just don't know how to handle their finances well. They weren't brought up on it. They weren't taught it. All right. And even then, I don't blame them because they're not conscious of it. All right. To them, that's how life should be lived. That's how they saw life from their parents in most cases. But you have to remember that you have to learn how to handle money, whether it's 50,000 a year or $100,000 a year. You need to know how to handle that, how to optimize it, how to grow it. Because let's say I got 50,000 a year, but I'm in debt. Yeah, I get 100,000 a year, may get me out of debt, but I guarantee I'm gonna put myself back in debt because I'm just gonna make the same mistakes and I'm just gonna make bigger ones now because there's more money. So I'm just gonna make bigger mistakes. I'm gonna think, oh, because think about it. When I was making 50,000 a year, I thought that I could buy a, a car that was worth 35,000, right? Takes almost, well, more than half my income. Now that I got 100,000 a year, I'm buying a car, well, not a car. I'm buying something that's like worth 75,000 because I'm like, "Oh, I got 100,000." Of course I no. So again, learn how to handle your money first, okay? Again, more money is not going to solve your problems. You know, you ever heard of the saying, more money equals more problems? Now that's more accurate. That's some advice that you should take, that more money is going to equal more problems, especially when you don't know how to handle it. Okay? So that's just something to think about. To pair along with that, we have to get rid of this idea that we only have one life to live. So let's just hell with it. Let's just live it and do whatever the heck we want. No, stop. It is very important to value the life that you currently have. Okay? Cherish the life that you currently have. I say this over and over and over again on this channel. Think for the long term. Think for the future. Because yeah, I may be going on vacation this week. But what am I doing next week when I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my rent? What am I doing next week when I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get foods for myself and my kids? What am I thinking about when I'm thinking, Dag, what am I going to do this next year when I have to move? Again, think of these things. Think of the future. Stop getting caught up in the moment. That is our issue as humans. Okay? We get caught up in the moment just a little too much. Alright? And that advice that you only live once, yeah, you do only live once. Alright? So take care of that life that you have. Think about your future. Think about when you retire, you're no longer able to work or you don't have any more income coming in. And I just spent so much money that took away most of my lifetime earnings. And now I'm living old and I'm miserable. Yeah, you lived a good life and now you're living through misery. Those memories are not going to get you through. I promise you they're not. Those memories are not going to get you through life. So really just think about the life that you have for the future and think, how can I make the best of it? And I guarantee it's not by living in the moment and thinking of only now. Okay, so again, do not follow that ideology that you only live once. Oh, just go and do this or go and buy that. Again, now there are certain things that have wholesome value, but make sure that it is not hampering you down, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a trade-off. Are you going to trade the present for the future? Is that seriously what you want to do? You want to trade now for the future. I may have said that in reverse. I don't know. But I think you guys understand the point that I am making. Now, this next thing I have a huge issue with, okay? And it's how 9 to 5s have been just thrown underneath the bus. I'm not even just talking about in relationship dynamics about how certain people look at certain jobs like, oh, you work here. No, I'm talking about just through regular life, okay? Don't be ashamed of working a 9 to 5, having a career, right? Having an occupation. I mean, that's the same thing, but you understand. Because guess what? That's your best chance of becoming a millionaire to begin with. All right. Now you're probably thinking, how the heck we get into millions? Now I have this book here titled The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. Great author, great book. First of all, I would heavily recommend getting this. You can just easily buy this on Amazon or something like that. But something I found in this book is that 80% of millionaires, guess what? They have a college degree. Now this is going to intersect with another point, which is this idea that college, for some reason, is just, again, like outdated, also getting thrown underneath the bus. Now, it actually might be a 3-section portion because there are going to be 3 things related to this. But just know this, education is very important, okay? I know that you guys sometimes see those ads where it's like, just do this program, you're going to make $20,000 a month. Oh, this guy, he made $20,000 a month, and now he's living on the beach, taking phone calls, working free. And look, bro, that's all bullcrap. I'm not going to lie to you. Those are anomalies, okay? Anomalies. You guys know what anomalies are? Meaning that the chances of them happening again are very slim. So yeah, that guy may have made $20,000, but your chances of making $20,000, again, very slim. Do not get caught up on this. Another thing with 9 to 5s, right? To make sure that I'm very clear on this. I'm not talking about becoming, or not becoming, but being a crew member all your life at McDonald's. That's not what I mean when I say, stick with your 9 to 5. No. I mean, grow your career. Because a career is still a 9 to 5. Okay? We're not all going to be business owners and entrepreneurs. And that's okay. Okay? It's okay to work for somebody else. I know, believe it or not, it's okay to work for someone else. Because guess what? You can still make the best of the situation. You can still grow in that company. There is room for growth. That's why it's important to make sure that you choose an occupation. Make sure you choose a job that has room for growth. For example, I'm not suggesting that you guys work at McDonald's all your life. But I will say this. Let's say you do work at McDonald's. You do know you probably won't eventually get to like a CEO level. Again, just being realistic. But you might be able to become an accountant for McDonald's. Think about that. You're no longer working in a physical McDonald's, but you're working from the inside. Oh, no, I said that wrong. You're working from the outside. Right? You're running things for McDonald's. Again, that's what I mean when I'm saying these 9 to 5s. I'm not saying stay in one place and stay there forever. Again, go for growth. Try to improve on things. But again, don't get caught up on this ideology that, oh, I'm working a 9 to 5. I'm working for someone else. Like, oh my God, I'm never going to be successful. Again, how are you handling your money? Do you do investments? Are you making sure your retirement is situated? Are you matching for your 401k? Are you taking advantage of the resources that are available to you? Are you going to school? Are you using the fact that this company helps with your tuition? Are you doing any of these things? Because that's what's going to be important. So, yeah, someone might be a business owner. That's perfect for them. But guess what? I work in an accounting firm. I do well for myself. I do well for my family. And that's what's important at the end of the day. Okay, don't think that you got to be some business owner to be wealthy. Again, 80% of millionaires have a degree. College is very important in obtaining wealth. It is. I know there are stories, these stories of people who didn't go to college or dropped out of high school and now they're millionaires. That's perfect. But I'm going to say this again. Those are anomalies. Meaning the chances for you are very slim. Now, if you want to take that chance, hey, I can only give you advice, right? We're talking about advice here. I can only give you the advice that, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should try to further education. Or even if you drop out, make sure you're still educated. Because most of those people that dropped out are still educated. They're not just sitting around at the beach all day. Okay? They're actually still working. Okay? But that's just something to think about. Remember, college is not outdated. It's still very important. And it's okay to work 9 to 5. It's okay to have a career that is not entrepreneurship, that's not working for yourself. If you're working for someone else and you're doing well for yourself, that is okay. All right, don't get caught up in that world because it might take you out. To be honest with you, it's I'm not gonna say they're all scams because they're not all scams, but some of them are even scams that you have to be wary of. Now, this next thing's gonna sound a little bit contradicting. Now, originally I was thinking about maybe I should make this a three-piece topic, but I wanted to separate it. Now, as I was just talking about, college is very important and, is very important in obtaining wealth. That is all true. And I firmly believe that and I firmly stick by that. I mean, that's just a fact. But don't get caught up on your education in the sense of you're just applying for loans and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I'm going to become a millionaire. Yeah, my degree is going to pay all this debt off. Again, man, I can only give you advice. We're talking about good advice and bad advice. Well, I think that's bad advice to just go along college with debt thinking that your degree is going to pay it off. But what I think is good advice, however, is to be wary of that. Because your degree is not just going to magically pay off your debts. Okay, are you doing internships? Are you getting experience? Are you setting yourself up for a career? Or are you just harping on your degree? Okay, your degree is not going to just change your life. You actually have to still put in work. Okay, that's why I mentioned in the last video, internships, gaining experience is so important. Because at the end of the day, that degree is a piece of paper. Okay, that's all I see is that you graduated. Congratulations. But you still owe me. Yeah, all that money that we gave you, you still owe me that money. Now you have to find a way to pay me back. Now that you have to work extra amount of years to pay me back without really, I mean, you're going to make a lot of money, right, throughout that time. But how much is it really going to be for you? Or is it going to be going to me? And when I say me, I mean the people that are collecting your debt. Oh, it's going to be going to me. Yeah, you made a good amount of money, but that money's mine. And you might not even get a job in that career. Again, let's just be honest about it. So do not just think that, yeah, I'm going to school for this. Yeah, this degree is just going to pay it off, because that is not what's going to happen. Do not get yourself in student loan debt just because you think that it's all going to work out. Again, it's good to be optimistic. I'm someone who's optimistic. But again, be honest. You know how much people, most of debt is like credit card debt and student loan debts. Do you want to be a part of that? Because that's not an anomaly. That's not an anomaly. That's actually very likely to happen to you. So, again, and you can easily make sure that doesn't happen to you. Just because it's normal does not mean that you can't get yourself out of that situation. Okay, that's why we said in the last video, do things like constantly apply for scholarships, to work, right? To help pay off your education. Alright? Again, don't go through college alone. Now. We're kind of moving over to the investing train, right? And if you guys don't know, when I talk about investing on this channel, I'm really not too specific. I try not to, harp too much on investing. And the reason is because me, myself, I'm not that educated on investing. Now, I know the basics, right? I firmly know the basics and I know what not to do now. But I don't want to give you guys advice where I don't feel as confident on it, right? Any other thing I tell you about, I'm a firm believer in it and I'm very confident in it. But when you watch videos on investing, you're going to hear these great ideas a lot that you're going to, if you put this amount of money in here, it's going to go to $1 million in 20 years, 30 years. That sounds amazing. But something that they're always forgetting to tell you, well, not all of them, but a lot of times I notice is that those returns are not promised at all. Do not get your hopes up on high returns, please. Do not fall for the high return trap, because it will get you. It will eat you alive if you let it. Oh, a 9% return? Oh yeah, let me start investing right now. And then you wake up 2 years later and you notice that, oh my, I've lost $1,000 something, or I lost $2,000, etc., etc. Or I've only gained $200. Again, yes, these returns can happen in their past performance. It has happened. But that does not guarantee for you. Literally, it is not guaranteed. You cannot predict. You cannot accurately predict the stock market, guys. You just can't. There are people that are good at it. People are better than others. But no one, and I mean no one, can just accurately, on a consistent rate, predict the market. Like, oh yeah, it's going to be this. anything can happen. Okay, so do not fall for this trap of high returns. Of course, I do still think it is very important to invest, but if you're caught up on these returns, you're going to get let down at the end. Okay, except that I may not get these high returns, but I'm still aiming for return, and these are my best chances at a good return. That's why it's not good to try beating the market. That's also bad advice. That's not really what the topic is on. That's also bad advice, though. Do not try to beat the market. Don't let that be your, I don't know, your goal, because that is very, very unlikely. You're probably going to lose a lot more money than you could have gained, right? But yeah, please, guys, don't get caught up on these high returns. Again, there are stocks that are good and they're great and they've had good and great past performances, but that does not mean it's going to consistently do that forever. Now, of course, I would say the best things to start off with is, again, stocks that track the S&P 500 or total stock markets. Because, yeah, there's times when they go down, but again, on a consistent rate, it's better long term. So, again, for a long term, understandable, but don't think that you're going to just get this every year, because that's just not going to happen, okay? Be aware that there are going to be times where there's ups and there is downs, and you're not going to get this perfect 9. You might end up in the middle of somewhere 5 between those years. And that's okay, because, again, it's still a return. It's still better than what your bank's going to give you. And, again, we're thinking about the future anyway. Now, to go along with the investing, it's a term called dollar cost averaging. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what is dollar cost averaging in the first place? What the heck are you talking about? It's the concept that you're putting a certain amount, let's say, I'll give you an example, 200 every month or every week. I would suggest just doing every month, right? And you're automatically investing that money into a certain stock, right? That's just, again, go with it. We're tracking the S&P because I think that's the best option to go. So we're doing 200 a month every month, right? Don't care about the price. We're just buying it. That is your friend, okay? So remember we talked about bad advice trying to beat the market? That is bad advice, okay? Dollar cost average is your best friend. And I'm going to tell you why. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, hey, but what if I miss out on some potential returns? Yes, that is very possible that you're going to miss. Well, it's not even very possible. It is going to happen. You are going to miss out on some potential returns. But guess what? Do you have time to just sit and stare at the market? No, you do not. We both know you do not. So why are you trying to do that in the first place? Just take it and leave it, okay? That is your best option. Yeah, you may win some. Yeah, you may lose some. But again, we're talking about the best chances of winning. And I believe, again, some people may say this is bad advice, but I believe that your best chance is to dollar cost average, not to try to beat the market. Trying to beat the market is very unlikely, as I just mentioned earlier, and it may kill you. It may kill your money. And I'm not joking. Like, it'll take you out the water. Okay? So don't try being in the market, just dollar cost average. Again, to put a certain contribution every month. And yes, you're going to miss out on potential returns. I will say that wholeheartedly. That is a fact. But again, that's your best odds at getting good returns. Because if you put all your money at one time, you're putting your money at more risk. Because let's say it does go up, then yeah, all that money goes up. But if all that money goes down, right? So if you just split it and you spread it again, that's just better off to do. If any of you have gotten advice on credit and it's to stay away from credit or don't do this, don't do that, I'm a firm believer that is bad advice. And I'm going to tell you why. Most of the time, people who tell you that just don't know how to use credit. I'm gonna just say it. They don't know how to use credit, so they don't want you to use it like they did. They're afraid that you're gonna do the same thing they did, right? So most of the time, it comes from a place of fear, not from a place that they actually know what they're talking about. No disrespect, but it's just the honest truth. A lot of people get into credit card debt, again, because they don't know how to use it, because they're irresponsible with their money. And again, they just weren't taught about how to use it in the first place. So they can't teach you how to use it. So what do they tell you instead? To not use it at all. So don't follow that advice. What you should do instead is embrace credit. Say, you know what? I am going to use credit as a tool because that's what it is. I'm going to use it to my advantage. I'm going to learn about credit to make sure I'm not making those mistakes. And I'm going to make sure that stands, and I'm going to teach it to other people. Okay? That is something so simple that you can do. Don't just go with, oh, I should stay away from credit. You're going to miss out on a lot. Your credit is very, very vital, not only to your current life, but to your future. I said it before, you want to get a home one day, your credit's going to be important. Any type of loan, your credit's important because you got to think about these interest rates. If they can see, hey, this person is reliable. I can lend them money. Oh, let me give them a lower rate because I know they're going to pay me back anyway. Versus, oh, he don't have a credit at all. I may not lend you any money because I don't have any proof that you can pay me back. Or I might charge you some superficial rates because I'm like, just in case I want to make sure that I'm insured, I'm going to put the interest on 10,000. Now, actually, because that would not actually happen, that might be illegal, but but you get the point. So again, your credit is very important. Again, people who tell you don't do that more than likely don't know how to use it, or they've had a bad experience with it and they just want to stay away from it entirely. Like, for instance, Dave Ramsey. Some of you may not know who that is. He's a great person. Like, if you're in a situation with debt, he's the perfect guy to go to. I read his book, Smart Money, Smart Kids. I love him. I really do. But one thing I disagree on him with is the whole ideology of credit. I firmly believe that you should use credit to your advantage. He would probably suggest you to stay away from credit because, again, the debt that can come with it. So for him, I understand it. I believe that he knows how to use it. He's very responsible. He's very well off. But he's going to tell you to stay away from it because of the things that can happen. Which, to that, I understand it. But again, use it to your advantage, please. Use it as a tool that it is. And don't get caught up in this idea that, oh, it's going to cause this, it's going to cause that. It can if you let it. But with the right steps, with the right education, you're not gonna let that happen. All right, you got me here. I'm not gonna let that happen to you. Okay. All right, we're gonna be responsible together. But the last thing that we're gonna go over today is to recognize that your situation is different from others. All right. So how I'm gonna connect this whole video together is to know that not all advice is gonna fit you. For instance, I live about 15 minutes away from my job, so I can walk. But it's not really smart for me to tell someone, hey, instead of getting a car, you should just walk to work. Or, don't worry about getting a car. But the whole time, guess what? This person lives 50 minutes from where they work. They don't have a dependable person to take them places. Like for me, if I need to be somewhere, I have my mom that I can count on. Not everyone has that luxury. That is a luxury for me, and I will wholeheartedly say that not even a luxury. That's a privilege for me that I can go to school and my mom can take me to school. Not everyone has that luxury. Some people have to get a car because they have to get places, and without a car, they can't get there, or they're gonna consistently have to use an Uber, right? So again, not all advice is gonna match other people. Even certain budgeting tips, well, guess what? You may have kids, you may have a loved one you have to take care of. So again, your circumstances are going to differ from others. So that's the main thing. You have to recognize this is good advice, but this advice will not work for me because my situation will not allow it. And you have to be able to not only recognize it, but accept it. Don't try to just squeeze it. Oh, let me try it. Again, it just doesn't work for you. You're going to have to use an alternative method. Okay, and there's always an alternative. So don't think that it's the end. Just say, okay, that's good, but I'm going to try this instead because this is going to be not only beneficial, but it's also going to work for me as well. Okay? But hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I always, and I mean always, say, if you found anything out of this video, which I hope that you guys do, please share it to someone else. Again, spread the knowledge. Keep it as a cycle. Always say every video, spread the knowledge. Okay? So please share it. You should have did this in the beginning because I said it. But you guys, I don't know what's up with you guys. But please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, please. And again, as I always say, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. And peace out.